Good evening and welcome to your Tuesday, September 16, 2025 edition of the Evening News. I am Michael Henry. Let's take a look at some of the lead stories tonight. Our region must remain a zone of peace, but transnational crimes must be addressed. President Ali. 15 new dialysis stations to be established by year end. ANUG'S snubbing from WIN's parliamentary list, a betrayal of partnership. FMR executive member. HADFIELD man remanded for acid attack on 2 women. Strengthening Guyana's legal labor framework, top priority for new labor minister. And Hadfield street duo busted with cocaine during CANU operation. Now for the news in detail. On the heels of a second U.S. strike on an alleged Venezuelan drug boat in international waters off the coast of the South American nation, President Dr. Irfan Ali has emphasized that this region must remain a zone of peace. Nevertheless, he asserted that transnational crimes in the region, including the use of our land and sea for criminal activities, must also be addressed.
Our sovereignty is our sovereignty. And what we do in relation to our sovereignty is our business. Having said that, I want to make it very clear that our priority as a government and as a people is to ensure this region remains a zone of peace. To ensure that our region remains a zone of peace. Whilst our priority is to ensure that this region remains a zone of peace, we are also conscious of the impact of transnational crime, drug trafficking, and other forms of illicit activities and the impact it can have on our people, the region, and our economy here and the region. We are continuously concerned about criminals using international waters or countries' exclusive economic zone in destroying economies, destroying countries, destroying people. For a matter of fact, we have raised an alert about the overflights over Guyana of suspected narco traffickers and drug planes and their overflight over Guyana. And we have been talking to our partners and to help support us in terms of our air surveillance and tracking system because we don't want our territory to be used. We don't want our land or sea to be used by any criminal network. So that is of concern to me. And we have a duty and a responsibility to make the necessary investment to secure our borders, to secure our people, and to secure this region. And also to contribute to every effort that will see our region remain a zone of peace.
Meanwhile, the President, during the press briefing on Tuesday, announced that some 50 new dialysis stations will come into operation in the public healthcare system before the end of the year.
As you know, we have spoke heavily about dialysis. Currently, the government of Guyana assists hundreds of patients every year who require dialysis with a $600,000 grant. During our consultation in the manifesto and with a body that has been formed to support dialysis patients, it was brought to our attention that there is need for more public dialysis stations because the private ones, as we increase the grant, are also increasing the costs per session. So we have added dialysis stations in every one of the new 6 hospitals. But in addition to that, I am pleased to announce that before the end of this year, we'll have 15 new dialysis units operational in regions 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 10. So before the end of this year, they will have 15 additional stations in our public care system.
We are now joined by Davina Samru, who reports that former executive of ANU and United Guyana, Althea King, has accused the United States-sanctioned businessman Azruddin Mohammed's We Invest in Nationhood party of betraying the spirit of its political partnership, describing the seats allocation arrangement as a cutthroat act that has left ANUG fractured and disillusioned.
Althea King, who in January 2024 was nominated as ANUG'S parliamentary representative under the joinder agreement with LJP and TNM, resigned earlier this year alongside party co-founders Ralph Ramkaran and Timothy Jonas. The resignations followed revelations that ANUG, under the leadership of Dr. Mark France, had quietly entered into an agreement with WIN, led by U.S.-sanctioned businessman Azruddin Mohammed. In a strongly worded social media post, King revealed that a draft legally binding contract had promised ANUG one parliamentary seat if WIN secured at least 5 seats in the National Assembly and 2 seats if it won 16. However, when WIN published its official parliamentary list after securing 16 seats in the September 1 polls, no ANUG nominees were included. On Saturday evening, WIN announced its nominees for parliamentarians. Among the most recognizable names on the proposed parliamentary slate are former APNU-AFC ministers and MPs Don Hastings-Williams, Tabitha Sarabo-Haley, and Natasha Singh-Lewis. In light of this, King questioned the rationale behind WIN's decision to exclude ANUG, pointing out that even if there was no confidence in Dr. Mark France, other competent executives were available. She expressed, and I quote, "I am disappointed yet again by a party in which so many placed their trust in, despite the risks and reputations involved. If this is how WIN treats their small partners, then what hope is left for any political dealings at all?" End quote. The WIN party received just over 109,000 votes at the last general and regional elections, where it secured 16 seats in the National Assembly, becoming the new main parliamentary opposition.
Let's now tell you that Karen Mervyn Daniels, 32, of iFlood Pasture, West Coast Demerara, has been remanded to prison for allegedly throwing acid on 2 women along East Street, Georgetown, on September 3. He appeared virtually before Principal Magistrate Faith Magusti at the Georgetown Magistrates Courts, charged with causing grievous bodily harm to Jalicia Leach and Nirmala Sukraj. Police said the women were attacked shortly after leaving Balwant Singh Hospital. A white car reportedly pulled up behind them, and a passenger threw a bottle of corrosive liquid before speeding off. Leach suffered burns to her face, stomach, and hand, and is now visually impaired. Sukraj was treated and discharged the same day. Prosecutors opposed bail linking the attack to a personal dispute involving a love affair between Daniels and Leach. Police believe tensions rose after the affair was exposed. Defense attorneys argued Daniels, a father of 4 with no prior convictions, posed no threat and was willing to meet bail conditions. They also claimed he was coerced into confessing and was not caught on camera. Daniels will make his next court appearance on Wednesday. Here now is Luan McAllister, who reports that the newly appointed Labour and Manpower Planning Minister, Kimona Griffith, will focus on strengthening Guyana's legal labour framework and ensuring that protections and opportunities for workers match the country's rapid economic growth.
Griffith, 34, is one of the youngest ministers recently sworn in by President Dr. Irfan Ali following a landslide victory by the PPPC at the September 1 general elections. During a recent broadcast interview with the state media, he described his appointment as both humbling and a divine calling.
I truly believe it was a divine appointment. I really believe God spoke to the president concerning me. And I really think that's how I got here. I don't think it's by chance.
while acknowledging the achievements of his predecessor, including training programs that benefited more than 15,000 individuals and historic job creation numbers. Griffith said his priority will be to modernize labor laws to balance the needs of employees and employers.
In terms of what I want to do, you will know I have a strong legal background. What I want to do is to ensure in this term the Ministry of Labour has the requisite legal framework to balance and to manage all that is taking place. Right. So we have to have a strong legal framework to protect the interests of employees, those who are working the labour force in this country. But we have to also ensure that it's also balanced to also manage the interests of employers and ensure that, where there is need for improvement on both sides, that we can ensure that.
The young minister brings to the post nearly a decade of legal experience, having worked at the Caribbean Court of Justice, the Court of Appeal, and the High Court. He also previously served as Secretary and Assistant Secretary at the Bar Association, where he worked on consultations for new legislation and on modernizing the filing system of the magistrates' courts. Griffith also served on the Juvenile Justice Committee and as one of President Irfan Ali's youth advisors. Reflecting on his rise to national leadership, Griffith said his appointment demonstrates the president's commitment to empowering younger voices. Looking ahead, Griffith said he envisions a transformed working class and a happier people by the end of the government's term. Lawanda McAllister for the Evening News.
Coming up, Caricom states to allow nationals to live, work, access services freely from October 1. Hadfield Street duo busted with cocaine during CANU operation. This and more coming up after a short break.
Looking to bring your dream home to reality? Or simply taking on a home improvement project? Then National Hardware Limited is where you should start. Let us put that touch to your home. Choose from over 1,000 Berger Paint original hues for any surface. We are known for our trusted brands such as Westinghouse, Philips, Sadco, Rubbermaid, Pyrex, Gibson Home, and so much more. National Hardware Limited, your do-it-best store. Located in downtown Georgetown and industrial site Rhymeville.
Man, girl and boy, feel the CPL joy from every nation in the Caribbean. Larger than life, we're building legends in this Caribbean nation. We're all in, it's CPL time.
We're all in. Republic Bank, title sponsor and official bank of the Republic Bank Caribbean Premier League.
Mom, did you tell him that Danny went to pick up KFC?
No, wait a minute. Are we really not going to tell him we already have KFC?
A tasty dinner shouldn't be that complicated. Crunch the routine and order a delicious KFC bucket for the best price. KFC, it's
Welcome back. You're watching the evening news. 4 Caribbean Community member states, Barbados, Belize, Dominica, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines, are on track to implement full free movement among themselves from October 1 this year. Here's more in this report. The Caricom Secretariat on Monday stated that by implementing the full free movement regime, these 4 countries have agreed to grant their nationals the right to enter, leave and re-enter, move freely, reside, work and remain indefinitely in the receiving member state without the need for a work or residency permit. Their nationals will also be able to access emergency and primary health care and public primary and secondary education within the means of the receiving member state. This is in keeping with the Caricom heads' decision taken at the 49th regular meeting of the Conference of Caricom Heads of Government this year. Representatives from these 4 member states have been meeting and working to ensure the required measures to support the full free movement, which will be undertaken and commence on October 1, 2025. According to the Secretariat, this free movement arrangement falls within the new Enhanced Cooperation Chapter of the revised Treaty of GUYANA'S. Under the chapter, the Conference of Caricom Heads can allow groups of at least 3 member states to seek to advance integration among themselves where the conference agrees that the targeted objectives cannot be attained within a reasonable period by the community as a whole. The free movement expands what is offered under the Caricom single market and economy. It is available to all Caricom nationals of the participating 4 countries. The other member states participating in the CSME will continue to operate free movement under the existing regimes, skills, services, business establishment, and general facilitation of travel. Caricom was established on July 4, 1973 with the signing of the Treaty of GUYANA'S, which was revised in 2001 to allow for the establishment of a single market and economy. Caricom comprises 15 member states and 6 associate members and is home to approximately 16 million citizens, 60% of whom are under 30 years old. Caricom's work rests on 4 main pillars: economic integration, foreign policy, coordination, human and social development, and security cooperation. Michael Henry, The Evening News. Agents of the Customs Anti-Narcotics Unit on Monday unearthed some 1.172 kilograms of cocaine during an operation along Hadfield Street, Georgetown. Following the discovery, Clarence Jones and Carlos Garraway were arrested and escorted to CANU's headquarters along with the cocaine. They remain in custody and are assisting with the investigations. The newly appointed Minister of Local Government and Regional Development, Priya Manikchan, announced that her ministry is set to boost operations at the HADFIELD sanitary landfill to increase capacity of management to keep up with the nation's fast-paced development. Here are the details in this report. Just 1 day into her new role, Local Government and Regional Development Minister Priya Manikchan announced that her ministry will be ramping up operations to handle the growing volume of waste, which has increased significantly in recent years at the HADFIELD sanitary landfill facility at Eccles, East Bank, Demerara, Georgetown.
I've had a meeting with the engineers and the management of this landfill site. Some of the issues are with the development that's happening in Guyana, we've moved from 400 tons per day to 1,200 tons per day. We've moved from about 100 trucks dumping here to 300 to 400 trucks dumping here. So we have to now increase our capacity of management. I'm going to be working very closely with the First Lady, who has done an amazing job beautifying different villages and communities in Guyana. And we're going to be doing that, but we are also going to be looking at solid waste management in NDCs and in smaller villages as well as in a large way in regions.
She also emphasized that the government wants communities to be safe, clean, and welcoming, with pleasant surroundings where children and families can enjoy the outdoors, while acknowledging that some issues still need to be addressed.
Solid waste management is a huge area and big concern for many residents across the country. And it has to be addressed in communities and regions across the country. We're looking at that, looking at it very carefully. As you know, we said we wanted our communities to be safe and sanitary and wholesome, and make sure it's nice smelling and nice looking, and the children and families could enjoy the outdoors in the afternoons. In some of these landfill sites, we have some arising issues that have to be dealt with. I know the residents of Eccles and Prospect and Windsor and so on have complained about a scent and smoke, and we're trying to manage that.
Michael Henry, The Evening News. Here now is Andrew Carmichael, who reports that the residents of Sanvutir Village, West Kanji in Region 6, East Berbice Quarantine, are calling on the relevant authorities to intervene in putting a halt to the rearing of Africanized bees in their village, citing extreme danger.
The hives are located in the backyard of one resident, and according to some villagers, there have been several attacks on humans and livestock. In some cases, thousands of the deadly bees have taken up residency in several homes. One resident, Eustace Hines, spoke out on the issue.
Me and other residents have been affected by some Africanized bees, which some residents in the area mining in close proximity to my home. If you like smoke, day or night, the house full of bee. When you like no smoke, if the music play hard, the house full of bee. And you have to lock up and go in bed all your clock. One just next to me, she chicken them attacked less than a week ago.
Africanized bees in East Berbice Quarantine have raised significant public health concerns due to their sudden and aggressive nature. In October 2021, the region experienced a particularly deadly series of attacks, resulting in the death of at least 3 individuals. Victims included residents engaged in routine outdoor activities such as farming and domestic chores, highlighting the unpredictable and widespread risk posed by these insects in rural communities. Hines says while they have had to endure the attacks, they have tried to reach out to the owner of the bees, but their efforts were unsuccessful.
The other residents, we went talk to them, and they didn't go on nice. So we decided to seek help elsewhere.
Hines says the bees should not be allowed to be reared in residential communities.
I know the authority could look into this bee problem. Mining the bee for getting honey is not a problem, but let them mine it in some far off area. It wouldn't affect we the residents.
Like how long since this person would have had these hives at the back here?
A good while, you know. A good while. My daughter take a bite, I'll tell the part. My daughter take a bite 2 Thursday back. In the kitchen there, she got a bite with the bee. Right? She had to lock up and take our lights and go in the bed. The bees in there about just over a year. But the problem started like less than 6 months.
The primary agency responsible for controlling and removing unwanted Africanized bees is the Guyana Livestock and Development Authority, GLDA, which operates under the Ministry of Agriculture. The GLDA has long held the official mandate to remove bee colonies, especially from public spaces such as churches, schools, parks, and other communal areas. In recent years, its scope has expanded to include residential areas and private homes. So far this year, the GLDA has removed in excess of 50 hives containing Africanized bees over the past month in Region 6. Andrew Carmichael, The Evening News.
The annual Amerindian Heritage Exhibition is alive with over 35 indigenous art pieces, each one a window into the stories, traditions, and imagination of Guyana's first peoples. Here is that report. More than 35 indigenous art pieces created by 6 artists and 1 craftsperson are on showcase at the Castellani House as part of the annual exhibition in observance of Amerindian Heritage Month. Curator Ohini Kowama explained that the works, predominantly by Arawak artists with roots in St. Cuthbert's Mission, highlight the richness of Guyana's indigenous heritage. The Evening News caught up with Kowama, who described the in-depth inspiration behind the exhibition.
Generally, some of the pieces are of a modern approach. They would be in the term of abstract art or symbolic art, but it's really inspired from the indigenous heritage, that is the basketry designs and so on, or even the ancient petroglyphs writing and Temeri writings and so on, right? But the works are really inspired by their environment. That's one of the first things. You won't see a lot of stuff that other artists will do in terms of city, someone on a donkey cart or anything like that. You see a lot of stuff like images like animals and trees and so on. So it tells you what they pay attention to, which is their environment, the geographical locations and so on, which is interesting.
The curator explained that the style of some of the paintings rely on the skill of painting what is seen, capturing subjects as they appear. While it may not be regarded as the most advanced technique, many artists still turn to it, sometimes believing it to be the best or most economical approach, which he states is high level of technical ability. The style is appreciated not only for documenting a moment in time or reflecting the artist's imagination, but also for the way it can merge representational art with elements of abstraction. On this note, he mentioned that he wishes that patrons would pay close attention to details exhibited on the art pieces.
Well, I would say that pay attention to details and the various ways and approaches of these artists to the environment and how they see it, and the colors, how they combine it, because that's a special technique too, to have colors in harmony and to say something that you want to say. So we're all part of this entire fabric of Guyanese. So pay attention to what one aspect of Guyanese life is being portrayed or perpetuated in front of you, and cherish it. And if possible, purchase it and acquire a piece for yourself. Build a collection.
Meanwhile, one of the oldest artists whose sculptures are also being exhibited explained the inspiration behind some of his pieces.
Well, the sculpture that I'm creating have to do with the nature where I live, where I'm born, and things, my surroundings. They inspire me. Yeah, it seems so. I'm the oldest from the group, and we start off many years, and I'm still here, and I hope to go further.
How does that feel, carrying on the culture with that age, leading on a vast amount of artists in Guyana?
Yeah, it is important to stay on, because artists never really die. You know, it lives on, and I'm happy I'm still here.
September in Guyana marks a vibrant celebration of Amerindian heritage. In 2025, this annual observance gains renewed resonance under the evocative theme, Igniting Unity, Celebrating Progress, Advancing Our Culture. Michael Henry, The Evening News. And now for a look at the bridge reports.
The Demerara Harbour Bridge will be closed to vehicular traffic at 0 hours 50 on Wednesday, September 17, 2025, for a period of 1.5 hours. Meanwhile, the Berbice River Bridge is scheduled to be closed to vehicular traffic at 13 hours 45 on Wednesday, September 17, 2025, also for a period of 1.5 hours.
Young Shanda Paul returns amongst 4 Guyanese for Wendy's test store. This and more coming up in this evening's Sportscast, sponsored by Markup.
It's Cricket Carnival time and Markup is knocking prices out of the park. Get the powerful Cat 320GX for just 30 million, the SEM 655D wheel loader at 17.4 million, or the SEM 636D wheel loader for only 13.8 million. Each machine comes with free fuel warranty registration, 2 years warranty, and a customer value agreement for the first 500 hours. Don't wait. Register your interest now at markarcat.com or call us today on 703-8618. Markar, let's build Guyana together.
You can tell from the crowd who's up next. It's Premier's star player, whose world-class stats put him in a league of his own. Premier's rise to stardom has been one for the record books. The first team to get a GYAA- rating. They boast a strong solvency and A-class service. Ladies and gentlemen, you're witnessing Premier's financial and technical strength that is out of this world.
Premier. Premier insurance coverage for less.
Mom, did you tell him that Danny went to pick up kids?
No, wait a minute. Are we really not going to tell him we already have KFC?
A tasty dinner shouldn't be that complicated. Crunch the routine and order a delicious KFC bucket for the best price. KFC, it's
Business owners, it's time to level up with SylviesOnline.com. Shopping with us is a breeze. Browse online and plan your purchase. Check real-time stock availability. Enjoy expert in-store assistance. Whether you're on-site or in the office, shop at SylviesOnline.com. Visit SylviesOnline.com today and make your next big upgrade easy. SylviesOnline.com, your partner in productivity.
Did you know Guy Super 95 gasoline has an octane rating of 95, the highest rating available in Guyana? This premium fuel is known to enhance the performance of your engine, making it run smoother and more efficiently, leading to better fuel economy and improved performance. Choose Super 95 for more mileage and better overall performance.